So, it's already end of the day, and thank you guys for being here, listening to such a boring topic, something to do with writing. Well, especially when everyone else is talking about AI and cutting-edge technologies, and you are here thinking about writing. Good for you. I'm the person who always believe that the best solution, the greatest solutions are always the simple solutions. And a simple solution sounds boring in the very beginning, but when you know more and more about it, you will found that aha moment that this is it. So today I want to introduce you 3 insights about writing that hopefully will change you this view about writing, because I believe writing is the most underestimated and undervalued and overlooked tool in digital health. So the first insight start with a The first insight start with the impact of writing on mental wellness. The story begins with a girl called Anna. Anna lost her grandfather, and she was really sad about it. She stuck in an emotion, sadness emotion, and she can't get rid of it. A friend of her recommended her to see a therapist, so she went to see a therapist. She waited 3 weeks to finally made an appointment. But when she made there, well, it's certainly helpful. A lot of advices, a lot of questions and tears. Anna found a lot lighter from the session. But at the end of the session, Anna was kind of confused and a little bit worried because she was wondering, when should I see you again, therapist? And the therapist said 2 weeks later. And Anna became even more worried and saying, what if I get worried again if I don't get to see you? And therapists would recommend one thing: journaling. Just write your thoughts down, express your emotions on the paper. The fact that a therapist would recommend people to journal is quite common. And Anna's case is actually not a special case. This could happen to anyone. So why journaling? Well, the first reason that a therapist would recommend people to journal is simply because it works. Journaling is clinical proven. It is emotionally powerful and practically accessible. If you ask anyone who journal often or write a lot, and people will tell you, journaling helps them to think deeper, to becoming more clear of their mind, and oftentimes they experience flow state, which is a peak experience directly related to happiness and self-esteem and self-satisfaction. The second reason why therapists would recommend journaling to almost anyone is because journaling has no side effect, unlike medications. You can literally journal with whatever time that you're comfortable with, and journal as much as you want. The third reason why therapists have to recommend people to journal is because people don't get to see therapists often. Therapists are expensive. Therapists have overbooked schedule. Therapists would recommend you to organizing your thoughts on paper, reframing your memories with words, and express your emotions on the paper. And by doing that, your mind will naturally become more clear, more focused, and more resilient. Therefore, this is the very first insight, that journaling has a big impact on your mental well-being. Which leads to the second question, that journaling is good, but can people write? It doesn't make sense if journaling is something good, but people just couldn't do it, because many people think they can't. So the question is, has human lost the ability of writing? The answer is no. People think they cannot write because it misunderstand no action as no ability. The human behavior model suggests in order to let any behavior, human action to take into place, 3 things need to happen at the same time. Motivation, do I want to do it? Ability, is it easy to do or not easy to do? Trigger, is that something reminds me of doing this? When we come to writing, the fact that hearing about writing sounds boring and tedious, just like you guys might heard of like the first time. People think writing is work. homework, assignment, deadlines, reports. It doesn't sound exciting. It doesn't motivate people to do it. And when we come to ability, journaling or writing makes people think blank piece of paper. They have to think of grammar, structure, and complex formatting. This is not something easy, sounds easy to do. And when it comes to triggering, most people were asked to write. They don't have that reasonable reason or emotional arousal to get started. Then this is the very reason why people don't take the action. But what if we have the right motivation, ability, and trigger? Look at those examples, maybe a little blurred. What is the last time that you guys read a bad review, one-star review? Anyone who claims themselves bad writers can write paragraphs about their terrible experience, motivated by that strong emotion. And think about messaging tools like iMessage or WhatsApp. You and me, we all write thousands of messages every single week. Thanks for those, easy-to-use emojis and auto-completions, and that evil little red dot reminds you, like triggering you. You have unread messages right away. You got to do it, like web submit apps. And think about platforms like Reddit or Steam. Young people write tons of game reviews, discussions, product reviews, and all sorts of guides on it, simply because they genuinely care about those topics, although they're often seen as reluctant writers. What if motivation, ability, and trigger can be designed for writing like this? This is something about the third insight about journaling. Oftentimes, people talk with me about journaling is blank pages and a leather cover, diary with dates and calendars. In fact, journaling can be looked like this. This is a journal called Burn This Journal. How cool is that? The idea is to sit in a virtual room, starting with the ambient fire and hearing the fire cracking sound. And then the prompt said, write anything down that you are holding in. And then you write it, you burn it, let it go, just like this. Throw it into the fireplace, and it's permanently deleted. The second example I want to share with you is called Plant Your Thoughts. Just like the name, Plant Your Thought. This journal likes you to practice your gratitude moments, not with words on the paper, but with flowers. Well, the idea is you open up this journal. This journal doesn't give you tons of, lines of paragraphs. What you do is you click on that sprout of the flower sprout, and write down some good words, nice to you or to other people. And then you see one blossom. The more gratitude you practice, the more flowers you will see. And by the end of the month, you will have a full garden of different flowers, lilies, poppies, whatever you can imagine. And this is another journal that young people really like about. It's called Sticker Journal, to allow you to play with all those sticky digital assets and build your own virtual room. This one particularly for building a virtual room. So you use those bad window furnitures, small little plants, and then adding up together, stacking layout nicely, and make up your own virtual room and compose a story about it. So internally, we call it rooms with a story. How fun is that? And of course, we also have some boring cliche journals like your memories, daily photos. It asks you to upload a highlight of the day and then write a story behind it. So at the end of the month, you will have a full calendar, visually graphics of the summary of your month. So you see, journaling and writing may not be that boring as you could thought about. With the right trigger, motivation, and easy-to-use tools, anyone can write meaningfully and profoundly. And that's the insight I want to share today. 3 insights to summarize. The first insight, writing has an impact on your mental well-being. The second insight, human can still write, still have a very good ability of writing with the right motivation, easy-to-use tools, and trigger. And third insight, writing, particularly journaling, is way more exciting than you could have thought about. And because of those reasons, we believe that writing could be the most accessible, most affordable, and probably the most powerful tool for mental wellness. If you want to partner with us, please find us in the booth. And let's together to make writing a little bit more exciting and benefit to the society. Thank you.